This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. The CNN Center right now is just beginning to work on this story, obviously calling our sources and trying to figure out exactly what happened, but clearly something relatively devastating happening this morning there on the south end of the island of Manhattan. That is, once again, a picture of one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
These words on this page without making a mistake. Look at the letter at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready.
Kite.
Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready.
Kid.
Yes, sound it out. Get ready.
Kid.
Sound it out. Get ready.
Kid.
What word?
Kid.
Yes, kid. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready.
Seal.
What word?
Seal.
Yes, steel. Read these words the fast way. Get ready.
Plane.
Yes, plane. Get ready.
Must.
Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready.
Kite.
Yes, kite. Get ready.
Kit.
Yes, kit. Get ready.
Seal.
Yes, steel. Get ready.
Plane.
Yes, plane. Get ready.
Must.
Yes, must. Boys and girls, pick your reader up from under your seat. Open your book up to lesson 60 on page 153. Count of three, everyone should be on page 153. If the yellow paper is going to bother you, drop it. Thank you. Everybody touch the title of your story. Fingers under the title. Get ready to read the title, The Fast Way. We're waiting for one member. Thank you. Fingers under the title of the story. Get ready.
The pet go.
Yes, the pet go. Fingers under the first word of the story. Get ready to read the story the fast way. Get ready.
A girl had a pet goat.
Go on.
She liked to go running with her pet goat.
Go on.
She played with her tail.
Try it again. Get ready from the beginning of that sentence. Get ready.
She played with her goat in her house.
Go on.
She played with her goat in her yard.
Good job. Go on.
But the goat did something that made the girl sad.
Let's clean that up. Get ready. Start with but. Get ready.
But the goat did something that made the girl sad mad.
Go on.
The goat ate things.
Go on.
He ate cans and he ate eggs.
Try that again. Get ready.
He ate cans and he ate cans.
Good job. Go on.
He ate cans and he ate cans.
Go on.
He even ate cows and cats.
Try that again. Get ready.
He even ate cows and cats.
Good job. Go on.
One day her dad said that goat must go.
What's behind the word said?
Comma.
And what does that comma mean?
Slow down.
Let's read that sentence again. Get ready.
One day her dad said that goat must go.
Go on.
He ate too many things.
Try that again. Go on.
He ate too
What is that word?
many.
Sound it out.
E.
What word?
E.
Start from the beginning of that sentence. Go on.
He eats too many things.
Go on.
The girl said.
What's behind the word said?
Comma.
And what does that comma mean?
Well,
Let's read that sentence again. Go on. Let's start from the girl.
the girl said that if you let the goat stay with us, I will see that he stops eating all those things.
Nice and loud, crisp voices. Let's go.
Her dad said we will try it.
Go on.
So the goat stayed and the girl made him stop eating and
Good job. That was a mouthful. Turn your page.
Really good.
Let's go.
Must be sick.
From the beginning. Fingers under the first word. Let's go.
But one day a car robber came to the girl's house.
Go on.
He saw a big red car near the house and said, I will steal that car.
Go on.
He ran to the car and started to open the door.
Go on.
The girl and the goat were playing in the backyard.
Go on.
They did not see the car robber. More to come.
More to come in our
Does that mean
next.
more to come? That's exactly right. Ooh, these are great readers.
Yes, they are.
Very impressive. Thank you also very much for showing me your reading skills. I bet they practice too, don't you?
Oh, yes. That's a requirement. Homework. Reading homework.
Reading more than they watch TV?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Anybody do that? Read more than you watch TV? Oh, that's great. Very good. Very important to practice. Thanks for having me. Very impressive. Read this book.
Boys and girls, close your readers. Place them under your chairs. And thank you so much.
Thank you, President. You can step out the door with me, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a difficult moment for America. Today, we've had a national tragedy. Two airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. The victims were in airplanes or in their offices, secretaries, businessmen and women, military and federal workers, moms and dads, friends and neighbors. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror. The pictures of airplanes flying into buildings, fires burning, huge structures collapsing, have filled us with disbelief, terrible sadness, and a quiet, unyielding anger. These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed. Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world.
and no one will keep that light from shining. Today, our nation saw evil, the very worst of human nature, and we responded with the best of America, with the daring of our rescue workers, with the caring for strangers and neighbors who came to give blood and help in any way they could. Immediately following the first attack, I implemented our government's emergency response plans. Our military is powerful, and it's prepared. Our emergency teams are working in New York City and Washington, D.C. to help with local rescue efforts. Our first priority is to get help to those who have been injured and to take every precaution to protect our citizens at home and around the world from further attacks. The functions of our government continue without interruption. Federal agencies in Washington, which had to be evacuated today, are reopening for essential personnel tonight and will be open for business tomorrow. Our financial institutions remain strong, and the American economy will be open for business as well. The search is underway for those who are behind these evil acts. I've directed the full resources of our intelligence and law enforcement communities to find those responsible and to bring them to justice. We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbor them. I appreciate so very much the members of Congress who have joined me in strongly condemning these attacks. And on behalf of the American people, I thank the many world leaders who have called to offer their condolences and assistance. America and our friends and allies join with all those who want peace and security in the world, and we stand together to win the war against terrorism. Tonight I ask for your prayers for all those who grieve, for the children whose worlds have been shattered, for all whose sense of safety and security has been threatened. And I pray they will be comforted by a power greater than any of us, spoken through the ages in Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. This is a day when all Americans from every walk of life unite in our resolve for justice and peace. America has stood down enemies before, and we will do so this time. None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you. Good night, and God bless America.
In the majestic National Cathedral in Washington, President Bush today expressed the grief and anguish of a nation stunned by this week's horrific attacks.
Just 3 days removed from these events, Americans do not yet have the distance of history, but our responsibility to history is already clear: to answer these attacks and rid the world of evil.
The event brought together past presidents, presidential aspirants, and members of Congress. At the insistence of the White House, the service was multi-denominational, multi-faith. The implicit message: the whole of America, indeed, the whole world, was touched by this tragedy.
Keep our country strong for the sake of the good and righteousness, and protect us, our Lord, from all evil.
The Reverend Billy Graham, who himself summoned the strength to make a rare public appearance, implored Americans not to be cowed before the cruel terrorist plot.
But now we have a choice, whether to implode and disintegrate emotionally and spiritually as a people and a nation, or whether we choose to become stronger.
Yet even as speaker after speaker sought to calm an anxious nation, there was more evidence of growing security concerns. Air Force One now shadowed everywhere by fighter jets. Information about the president's movements now tightly guarded. The commander-in-chief very much on active duty. Every day, one step further down the road to war.
This nation is peaceful, but fierce when stirred to anger. This conflict was begun on the timing and terms of others. It will end in a way and at an hour of our choosing.
Later in the day, an important symbol as the president defied the threat to national security to visit Ground Zero.
America today is on bended knee in prayer for the people whose lives were lost here, for the workers who work here, for the families who mourn.
The symbols of U.S. dominance in ruins around him, thousands dead beneath the rubble, Mr. Bush rallied exhausted rescue workers, pledging those responsible will pay a heavy price.
I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
The defiant words hit home with firefighters who have spent frustrating days searching the wreckage amid dimming hopes that any of their comrades will be found alive. Uptown from the epicenter, the president toured the makeshift FEMA headquarters and spent time with families of New York police officers missing in the crumpled buildings. Away from the view of cameras, Mr. Bush met with the mother of one officer whose body was recovered on Tuesday. She gave the president his badge. Speaking to the White House press corps, President Bush said of the destruction in New York, "You have to see it to understand the full impact."
I said that this was the first act of war on America in the 21st century, and I was right, particularly having seen the scene.